Okay. Hi, Demetra. Okay, so let me see. This video is going to be about um the male and female from Genesis 1 and the man and woman of Genesis 2. Basically the living dominion, um heaven, dirt ground formed, created, let there be. I'm just saying keywords of what I'm going to be talking about real quick. So basically, my notes let me see, what did I put? Oh, yeah, and the tree of life. This is just something that I'm still working on about the tree of life. So I believe it was two trees in the middle of the garden, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So in Genesis 2, Lord God told Adam, or the man, that he can eat of every tree except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He did not say the tree of life. So I'm like, was they, I guess they was next to each other or near each other, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, but he can eat from the tree of life, but he could not eat from the tree of good and evil. Okay. But um, at the end of chapter, at the end of chapter 3, it says, after they ate from the tree of knowledge, of good and evil, at the end of 3, it says, he drove out the man and placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So reading that, and then I Google something or whatever, it seems like Lord God was like made a protection so that the tree of life, nobody can get to the tree of life. Place cherubims and a flaming sword around the tree of life. And I'm like, I didn't think that the tree of life was off limits, I guess, until they ate, I guess until Adam and Eve ate from the tree. And I guess that's when the tree of life, they ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and that's when the tree of life became off limits to them. But before they ate, it seemed like they can eat from the tree of life. They just couldn't eat from the good and evil, the knowledge of the good and evil. So I'm still a bit confused about that. Like, why didn't they eat from the tree of life, or was they eating from the tree of life and everything was good, and that's why they was just happy and giddy and, like, hey, we just in this garden, doing this, doing that, yada yada yada, and. And then that's when, but this is a segue, I guess, of what the video is going to be about. Hopefully, I get to the topic without rambling. But Demetra, we know how we do. But about the conversation with the serpent and Eve, I'm like, okay, I know animals can talk. I know things can talk. If you're very in tune with nature and animals, you can actually, like the dog whisper and stuff like that. You can understand animals and hear them talking. Like, oh goodness, the Eddie Murphy movie. Um, oh my goodness, when he was talking to the animals, Dimitri, and everybody thought that he was crazy. It was for talking to the animals. You can't talk to no animals. You can't hear them. You can't conversate with them. You're crazy. That's crazy talk. And he even thought he was being crazy, hearing things and stuff like that. And he got put into an institution something. But then when the animals came to him, it was like, look, dude, you're not crazy. You can hear us talking. You can understand us. You have a gift. Like this, you utilize your gift. Just because a lot of people don't have what you have, and then they calling you crazy and stuff like that, but and you making yourself deny your own gifts because of what other people is calling you crazy and just weird and everything, but you know what you can do. So act upon it. Stop being afraid of your own power because people is downgrading you and calling you crazy and thinking you don't know what you're talking about and threatening you about being in a mental institution and everything. When indeed you can actually hear and understand animals. Dr. Doolittle, thank you. Dr. Doolittle. And of course, it was a number two that came out too. And guess who played in it? Raven Simone, Raven, Baltimore Raven, Raven the bird, and then she ended up having her own show, That's So Raven, which she talking about. She was like a spiritual seer, so seer and talking to animals. Yeah, Raven, but yeah, names mean something too. That's another video. But anyways, so getting back to Oh yeah, so real quick about Dr. Doolittle. So of course if you have gifts and whatever thing that's like a positive aspect, utilize it. Just because people don't understand what your gifts are and you have it, they might be afraid and then trying to make you don't use your gifts or whatever because they actually low key want it. But they like, oh no, you crazy, you talking to animals or this, that don't make no sense. You better talk to them daggone animals. But okay. But anyways, getting back to Genesis, to the story. Okay. So when the serpent was talking to Eve, I'm like, okay, animals is talking. And I mean, it's just, I have questions. Oh, goodness. I don't even know where to begin about that. But I'm like, did the serpent have a mate? Or was it just, and mind you, Eve didn't have a name yet. Eve didn't get called her name until the whole after eating of the tree. So Eve was just called woman. Okay. So my thing is, an Adam name, I guess, was Adam after a while when he started naming the animals. But his name was Adam. But the woman didn't get her name until afterwards. Okay, but anyways, okay, Demetra, let's get this. Okay, so the serpent and the woman were talking, and I'm like they was having a whole conversation. It seems, So I'm like, the serpent was talking, and then the serpent probably was like standing upright because it got cursed to crawl on his belly afterwards. But my thing is, since the Lord God um formed the serpent, let me go to it. Yeah, now chapter 3, this is Genesis, the beginning of chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. So the Lord God made the serpent. Now, the Lord God is the one that be forming these creatures from the dirt, from the ground, from the soil, from the mud, like formed. Lord God is the one who was forming these creatures, even Adam. Took some dirt, took some dust, took some water, took some mud, took some whatever, hay, straw, whatever, and formed Adam. This is in Genesis 2. In Genesis 1, God spoke and created male and female, Elohim, and the rest of the animals and stuff like that. Spoke into existence, created things of that nature. Genesis 2, Lord God formed with the dirt, the dust, all that mud, formed Adam. So, my thing is, even in chapter 2, Lord God was like, oh, yeah, this man needs a mate. It's not good to have him be by himself. He needs a mate. So I'm like, if you know that he need a mate, is do all these previously animals that was formed, did they have a mate? Was it two of them? Was it two males? Was it two females? Was it a male and a female? Or was it just a singular formed animal through the dirt, that Lord God brought into Adam and Adam named them? Because I'm like the serpent. So I guess Adam named the serpent. So when Lord God formed the serpent, bring it to Adam, Adam was like, yep, you're going to be called serpent. Okay. So I'm like, I'm assuming it's just one, but I'm like, if Adam had a helpmate and Lord God knew, like, hey, yeah, people need partners, it's not good for a man to be alone. What about all the other, quote unquote man creatures that they mate as well? So I'm just saying this because where was this serpent? Why wasn't he occupied with his mate? So I'm like, he probably didn't have a mate. Who knows? But then when he came and approached Eve, or when him and Eve was talking, the way he approached her, how I'm reading, it seems like he probably was like washing her or washing them low key, and seeing that they wasn't eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He probably was washing them like, they eating from all these other trees and eating these herbs and eating this and eating that. How come they ain't eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? So, um, what about to say? So, the world happened. Yeah. So then I was thinking, like, hold on. Sorry, I had to drink some water. Oh my goodness, what time is it? It is 4:45 a.m. Okay, so let me continue reading. Okay, so what I was thinking was, did the serpent actually eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? Because it didn't say, in the Bible in Genesis 2, it didn't say Lord God told all these animals, like, look, y'all can eat everything, but y'all just can't eat from the trees that's in the middle of the garden. It didn't say nothing like that. It just seemed like um, Lord God told Adam, and I guess Adam relayed the message to Eve, to the woman. Mind you, Eve ain't get her name yet. She was just the woman. So I guess Lord God told Adam, hey, you can eat from everything except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So then when the woman was created, that's when Adam relayed the message to the woman, hey, we cannot eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We can eat from everything else except for that. So when the serpent approached the woman, I'm thinking the way he's speaking, it seems like he was probably eating from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Like he didn't have that rule not to eat. Because how, Eve was the woman. Sorry, let me not give her a name because she ain't have a name yet. The woman was like, yeah, we eat from it. We're going to die. So the serpent was like, you ain't going to die. Because I'm thinking the serpent probably was already eating from the tree and, obviously was still alive. And the serpent was like, listen, I've been eating from this tree for the longest, from that tree from the longest time, and I know that y'all not eating from it, and I've been eating from it, and shoot, I know some stuff. Like the reason why he said y'all not eating from it, or y'all can't eat from it, because you would know what I know, like something like that. That's how I'm like looking at it. So so yeah, so I'm like, did the serpent been eating from the tree? So that's how he knew. Cause I'm just like, how in the world the serpent knew that they wasn't gonna die? Why is the serpent coming up talking to Eve about, hey, why you ain't eating from this tree? Like, what was you doing? Washing her, washing them all hard? Like, oh, they ain't eating from that. They not eating none of my food, or I mean, they not eating from that table. They eat off of every other table, but they be skipping the table in the middle. But shoot, that's when me and all these other people be going to the table in the middle to get these cupcakes and sweets and cookies and everything, and puddings and pies and but on these other tables is fruits and vegetables. But this middle table got some cookies and some sugar and some butter, but they can't eat from it, but we eating from it. So then that's probably why the serpent approached Eve and was like, look, why you ain't eating none of this cupcake? Why you ain't eating no cake? Why you ain't eating these cookies? Eve was like, huh? And then said, we eat from that, we gonna die, you know. And then that's when it seemed like Eve, the serpent was like, come on, come to this table. Look, come on, look at this table. Don't just look good. And then Eve's mouth was probably watering and was like, ooh, these cupcakes and cookies do look good. And they smell good too. Serpent was like, go ahead and go ahead and eat. Take a cookie. So Eve probably took a cookie, ate a cookie, was like, oh wow, this is freaking delicious. I love this cookie. Ooh, let me get a cupcake too. Oh my goodness, this icing is so freaking good. Let me take one back to my husband. So I'm like, and I said this before because I'm like, where was Adam in all this? Because I'm like, Adam probably wasn't near the quote unquote table or tree with all this goodness, because if he was, and then when Lord God approached them, was like, hey, well, did you eat from the table with all them goodies and sweets? He automatically was like, hey, the woman you gave me, she the one who gave me this food, so I ate it. He wouldn't have said that. If he was at the table, he would have said, no, no, Eve, no woman, I'm your husband. We don't supposed to be eating from this table. Serpent, go, leave us alone. If Adam was actually, I guess, near at the table, like he would have told Eve to don't eat from there. I would have told the serpent to get on somewhere, like leave us alone. Like we know you can eat from it, but we ain't eating from it. Yada yada yada. And then therefore Adam wouldn't have to blame Eve because nigga, you ate it. You was here at the table, so don't be saying I handed you anything when you took the cookie off the table yourself. You know, I probably led you to the table. How the serpent led me to the table was like, look at all this, and I was eating. And then I went back to you and it was like, come on, husband, come follow me. Come follow me to this table right here. And then, he looking at the table, Adam and the woman looking at the table, and the serpent right there on the side. And then Eve, well, the woman was like, here you go. Look at this cookie. Look, I'm eating the cookie. And like nothing happened to me. Nothing is happening to me, husband. I'm eating this cookie. I'm eating this cupcake. And then Adam probably was like, okay, I guess I can eat the cupcakes since I see nothing is going on with you. And then, he probably got a cookie or cupcake off the table himself and start eating. And then that's when it says both of their eyes became open. So I'm like, if the woman was eating the cakes, the cookies, whatever, the fruit first, and her eyes did not open until her husband, Adam, ate, I'm just like, maybe she, it didn't have an effect on her. Maybe her eyes was open and she seen, she knew the truth, but she was like, well, shall I'm just keep this to myself. I mean, I don't know. But then when her husband ate it, he probably was like, oh my goodness, I see everything. Oh my goodness, we're naked, we this and that. And he probably was panicking. And then a woman was like, okay, calm down, it's cool. But the man knew that he effed up because the woman was like, well, ain't nobody tell me nothing. You the one who told me that we couldn't eat from here, you know. But the teacher or Lord God, he ain't tell me. So that's why I'm not feeling nothing. You the one who's gonna get in trouble, not me. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to picture it and make it something a way that I can understand. Um, oh yeah, and then that part when the Lord God was asking him, "Hey, what happened? Did you eat? Did you eat from the tree? Did you go to that table that got all them cookies and sweets and butter and sugar? Did you go to that table and eat a cupcake?" And Adam was like, "Well, yeah, but the woman gave me the cupcake, you know." And then the little girl went to the woman, will ask the woman, "Oh my goodness, what did you do?" Yada yada yada. And then the woman was like, "Well, the serpent, he enticed me to eating it." And the Lord God ain't even asked the serpent, "What did you do? Why did you do that?" The Lord God just automatically was like, "Look, you curse. You're going to crawl on your belly, heel and head and bruise and whatever he was saying." So I found that part was a bit interesting, how like the Lord God asks Adam like what happened or what's going on. And, Adam said something about the woman. And then Lord God asked the woman or was like, listen, you know what you did? Y'all disobeyed me. That's going to happen. And then the woman said, well, the serpent. And then Lord God was just like, okay, serpent, this is your punishment. Like the serpent basically didn't go down the line and blame somebody. So I don't know if that makes sense. Like how the Lord God didn't ask the serpent, well, why did you do that? Lord God just was like, look, this is your punishment. Because I guess it was like, you can't blame nobody else, serpent. They can go down the line. It could be Adam, Eve, and you. Adam can blame Eve. Eve can blame you. But serpent, who you gonna blame? That kind of thing. Um, so what was this video titled? What was it? I forgot what I called this video. But anyways, what was I supposed to be talking about? The garden, the tail, yada yada yada. Okay, the east. Um, okay, the east word in the garden. Okay, so it says, yeah, that's going to be in a comparison video with man and woman, and male and female. I'm gonna do that in another video, and I'm actually write my notes so that I can really understand it. Because this right here, I just be jotting things down, and like things be all over the page, sideways, crooked, upside down. But that one, I'm actually gonna, you know, write it so I can make myself read it easily, easily. Yeah, one of them words. Um, I guess that's it. But yeah, just like saying about the tree of life, how it was guarded now. And I'm like, they could have been eating from that because that seemed like that Lord God didn't say don't eat from the tree of life, just from the knowledge of good and evil, just from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Um, so yeah, and what I put Genesis 2, verse 15, the man to till the ground. Yeah, that's gonna be another video. What else I got? See what else I wrote down. And the little guy formed. Oh yeah, this is what the video was talking about. Oh my goodness, let me hurry up, get to the point. Okay, basically, oh goodness. Genesis 3. Let me go to Genesis 3 because I wrote that down. Genesis 3:20. Okay, Genesis 3:20. It says, "And Adam called his wife named Eve because she was the mother of all living." Okay, that's Genesis 3:20. And then go to Genesis 2:19. So flip back to 2:19. It says, "Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name." So basically, Adam gave the name to every living creature out of the ground. Lord God, okay, remember, this is Lord God, not God. We in Genesis 2. So Lord God formed the creatures out of the ground the same way he formed man of the dust of the ground. Well, from the ground, okay? So Lord God formed every, this is 19, 2:19 Genesis. "And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was their name of." So go back to what I just wrote. What I just read in Genesis 3:20. Well, I guess go forward to Genesis 3:20. "And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living." Okay, and not to mention what and gave the name to the cattle. Oh yeah, and go to Genesis 2:22. "And the rib which the Lord God hath taken from man, he made a woman and brought her unto the man." So again, the Lord God is bringing these things, these beings, these artists out of the ground, animals unto Adam, or to Adam, to name them. He even brought the woman after he formed her. He was like, "All right, let me bring you to the man so he can give you a name." And he just called her woman. She should be called woman because she was taken out of man. And this is 3 verse 23, chapter 2 in Genesis. "And Adam said, This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man." So called the called the woman woman. you know, she wasn't called Eve yet um the end until the end of what I wrote 20 until 3:20, Genesis 3:20. "And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living." Okay. For her. And then I'm gonna read it again. Genesis 2, verse 23. "And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man." Okay. So he called her woman, gave her I guess the title of woman, in 23, but actually gave her name in Genesis 3:20. Her name is Eve because she was the mother of all living. Now go to Genesis 2, I guess 19. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them to Adam so that he would call them, and whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name. Okay? Mind you, Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils. Okay. So then go back to um what was I saying? Go to Genesis 1:28. 1:28. Genesis 1 verse 28. It says, and God blessed them. Now we're talking about the male and the female Elohim that was created together. Like I said, I'm gonna do a comparison video with Adam and Eve, man and woman, and compare that to male and female from God. Lord God did man and woman. Okay, but anyways, verse Genesis 1:28. And God blessed them, mind you, the male and female that was together. He didn't have to put nobody to sleep to make the second person. Okay, Demetra, come on. Okay, Genesis 1:28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Okay, so I'm gonna read the last part really, because that's what I'm getting at. What thing it was? Yeah. Genesis 1:28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Um, Basically have dominion over every living thing that move upon the earth. So in Genesis 1, this male and female have dominion over every living thing upon the earth, okay, that moves upon the earth. But here we go, flip to Genesis 2, and here goes Adam giving Eve the name, or giving the woman Eve the name because she is the mother of all living. So that's the part I'm confused about. Like, Eve, how the woman is going to be called Eve, and the definition is because she is the mother of all living. But um, but everything that was created from Lord God is from the dirt, the dust, including Adam and Eve. They from the dust and the dirt, but I guess they got brung to life. But in Genesis 1, in Genesis 1, God just said, let there be, or let us make, or, let us create, and it happened. Didn't have to form anything. And, and God, this is in Genesis 1, and God created great whales and every living creature that moveth. And God blessed them by saying, be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters and seas, and let the fowl multiply the earth. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind. This is in Genesis 1. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. So, yeah. So that's the part that I'm like, why would, I know it's a reason for it. You just gotta figure it out for piece it together. But I'm just like, if Eve named the definition is supposed to be because she's the mother of all living, it's like, is she even living? Like, she was coming from the dirt, from the ground, just like you, Adam. And then the person who made y'all two is the Lord God, and He formed y'all through the ground, through the dirt of the ground. So how you gonna give her the name Eve, talking about she's the mother of all living? But in Genesis 1:28, God blessed them, the male and the female that God made, that God created. Blessed them. It said, unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So the male and the female have dominion over all the living. And then you're going to give Eve the name to say she's the mother of the living. Like, huh? I don't know. It's what, 5:08 in the morning. Let me end it on that note. But yeah, that's about it. All right, until the next video. Bye.